Do I want to play first? Hell yeah, I want to play first. Boom. Shitty hand, but I'm not going to mulligan because I have, of course, 4 drops. Why wouldn't I have 4 drops? I'm going to play the plains first because of the Phalanx Leader, actually. And then we'll see. What's my opponent up to? Baggy? Beige? Beige? Blah, 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 blah. Green is what my opponent's up to. Hey, another 4 drop. Who'da thunk? Double green? Alright. So my opponent's probably happy I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on. And I'm happy my opponent's not putting a whole lot of pressure on either. Our deck turns on as soon as we get to 4, which we just did, and my opponent's not doing a whole lot after that. Also, my opponent seems to be stuck on 1 color. Could just be stuck, not really knowing. But I'm not worried about a whole lot in green against me for 4 green right away. Yep, that ain't it. So I think we're just going to Hopeful Idol on the Borderland Minotaur. We have 5 mana. Can I do anything 2 cards at once? No. Actually, I'm going to play the Ill-Tempered Cyclops because next turn I can Monstrosity it if my opponent's doing nothing, and that's going to be pretty okay. I should have just played it out first in F6 because there's no way my opponent's blocking anyway, so that's fine. Leaving up God's Willing, though it's not on the deck. My opponent can play around it. Oh yeah, my opponent was stuck on Swamp, it looks like, so this can get tricky with Staunch-Hearted Warrior. I'm happy just to start playing a race game. My opponent could have a 6/6 at any moment, but that's kind of nice. I'm thinking 6 like a +2/+2, like a Savage Surge or Feral Invocation or something. But this allows the Ill-Tempered Cyclops to bash through, which is what we're going to try right now. Could be a Lash of the Whip, but we're only monstrositying if there's in response to something. Opponent's thinking. Okay. All right, we'll trade our. There could be a second card here, and then my opponent just has a gigantic whatever, like another Savage Surge or something, but there's not, so we're in a good position. We wasted our entire turn, but we got a nice 2-for-1, and we still have a creature on the board, so we're a little bit ahead in that regard. With Hopeful Eidolon and such things coming back up, we're going to be in a really good spot. Okay, so we'll show that in the Flame Speaker Adept. My opponent will take the Flame Speaker Adept. Pretty easy choice for my opponent. Our Emissary would be kind of awesome right now, since we have 7. Pretty rare that that's awesome, but still cool. That's actually also an awesome draw. Be able to play the Phalanx Leader and play our Borderland Minotaur. Super cool. Alright, no combat trick. Looks like my opponent's just desperately trying to stay alive. I'm very okay with that. Is there a reason to keep the Mountain in hand? Another Disciple is going to get rid of the Hopeful Eidolon anyway. But also, I don't... I think what kind of mana requirements I need. Yeah, I'm going to play it, in case I draw something where I want to play the Eidolon and something next turn. Ooh, a Nemesis of Mortals. So easily just bestowing the Phalanx Leader to pump the team in order to attack in with everything while my opponent can't Monstrosity. Could be a combat trick, but I'm okay with the Borderland guys being traded for that. Just want to put the pressure on. I'm going to be in a tough spot if there is a combat trick, but my opponent hasn't had it previously. Alright. That huge swing is going to be super key. Now I need to do a little bit of math. My opponent can make this guy huge. It will cost all mana, because right now my opponent has exactly 7 and 8, 9 in the yard. Well, okay. All but 1 mana. Ooh, and an Overlord. Alright. I need a spear or something. Minotaur's okay. If I attack it with my 2 dudes, Overlord just eats one of them, but I have a little bit, like there's definitely, I'm going to see if my opponent wants to take that risk. Probably just jump with a Harpy. My opponent might have taken my read to wait to attack as something. No. Just going for it. That's exactly what we wanted. I waited a second on that attack, which means my opponent might have been thinking that I didn't have the trick. And now we're in a really good spot, because my opponent can't be attacking with the Born Overlord right now, and the Harpy's going to have to be sacrificed. Nessian Asp. Well, that sure does help stabilize. We need to find a way to pound through. But my opponent's sacrificing creatures at every upkeep. So yeah, I might take 6 here, but then the Overlord's gone or the Asp is gone. Huh. That's cool. We're just going to get it down. And then pass the turn, let my opponent sacrifice something. I'm definitely not attacking now. Who's dying? I presume the Overlord. You can probably hear my voice. I'm feeling pretty confident about this at the moment, since my opponent is in such a rough space. My opponent doesn't Nessian can hold some things back, but pretty soon this Phalanx Leader is going to get out of hand, and we're going to draw something. I mean, just one of our Fanatic of Mogusi. I keep saying Mogusi, by the way. I realize I've made that plural up. I don't know what a Mogus is. Is that one of the gods of Theros? I don't even know. Ooh, Keepsake Organ. Good way to get things started in stabilizing a wee bit. This is awesome. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. To put the Phalanx Leader here. Has to be double blocked. 7, 3, 6, 7. It only kills one of the guys, but then my dude's pretty insane next turn. And actually, that could kind of win. Both these guys would have to block the Phalanx Leader. My guys are huge. There could be like a Boom Satyr or something, but I'm okay with just bashing with everybody. Yeah. There's the Fanatic. So I think that was a good representation of what the deck does in terms of it did nothing till turn 4, and then it went off. Now, the only reason it was able to go off was because my opponent also did nothing until turn, 5? Being stuck without a swamp. So, much more worried. My opponent seems to actually have a very good deck, a nice green-black deck. I don't think I have any way to deal with the Abhorrent Overlord. Right? So I don't want to bring anything in. Just kind of have to get there with that aggression that I've already seen. I guess the Spear helps deal with it if I can afford to take 6 in a turn. So we will keep it the same. But man, that Overlord into Nessian Asp into Keepsake Gorgon was only because we were able to get enough damage through early on that mattered. My opponent was slow in the uptake. Okay, so here's a hand that we cannot keep, and so we're going to have to mulligan this away. Yeah, I could play the hopeful Eidolons, but it's kind of like the worst way. If there's like one mountain here, then fine. Would you like to mull 6 cards? Yes. This is much better. Not awesome, but actually Dragon Mantle on 2-hit Cerberus is pretty sweet. Still going to lead off with the Plains because of the possibility for Phalanx Leader, and we don't need the double mountain until turn 3 at the earliest, so that's fine. Leaf Crown Dryad, that would be not good to see that. Luckily nothing at the moment, so we're happy. No pressure on my opponent means we get the headed Cerberus online and start getting there. That's cool, especially with a follow-up play. Having the Ill-Tempered Cyclops is very nice. And we've got to our 4 mana. Okay. Time to make dreams come true. So my opponent's playing Nemesis, so I would normally do this to myself here. Oh, there goes my Emissary. That's a bummer. It's a good card. So let's see. Ooh, Spear's going to be good if I draw a Plains. Kind of want to put the Dragon Mantle on a 2-headed Cerberus, then be able to attack in to be able to pump, but that does waste my entire turn. And I think we can kind of wait. Alternatively, we just put the Hopeful Eidolon on the 2-headed Cerberus, which makes it a 2/3 double strike and does the same thing. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better because it uses all my mana right away. Oops. What happened? There we go. So I don't want to get into a super late game with my opponent, which is kind of what my hand is starting to shape up to do with this Spear and Ill-Tempered Cyclops, because I'm presuming like a Lash or something comes down to take care of this 2-headed Cerberus fairly quickly. I think ideally next turn I draw a land. Here comes Viper's Kiss. That looks like my opponent's just buying time, which is kind of grand because that pretty much does very little. And I can even choose to put the Dragon Mantle on the 2. Oh wait, Viper's Kiss. Never mind. That'd be a horrible use of Dragon's Mantle. This is pretty cool because we'll be able to pump up the dude again and keep bashing in. So we're back being able to attack in. Even if my opponent double blocks, we kill one and it still gets to stay alive. So let's bash. I don't want to just cycle my Dragon Mantle. I'm not efficient with my mana use, but it allows me to do an attack, so that's cool. Not too sure why that's happening. Maybe my opponent really does just want to stay alive. That's fine. Or doesn't want to take another, 4-point swing. Let's see, what kind of fatty would be great to see here? Something with only four. Oh, Lash of the Whip's gonna come down, isn't it? Yeah, probably. Oy. Well, we're playing Ill-Tempered Cyclops for sure. Savage Surge could kind of get us, but then maybe the Rage just finishes off the Staunch-Hearted Warrior. Some kind of... No, what? No trick? That's absolutely interesting. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the Dragon Mantle now on Ill-Tempered Cyclops, because I have the mana and I want to be able to cycle the card. There we go, we have a follow-up play as well. This is going to get monstrous next turn. Four trample for 4. Thanks, Spear of Heliod. I'll take it. I'll always take that. So my opponent has Sip of Hemlock, take out probably Ill-Tempered Cyclops because it is the most scary. That does mean I can use Rage of Porphyros. Ooh, there comes the Keepsake Gorgon. So it looks like we're attacking in with the Ill-Tempered Cyclops. My opponent probably just offers the trade, and all I have to do is pump 1 mana to make the trade. If I were to attack him with 2-hit Cerberus, I don't have a way to pump it because of this Viper's Kiss. Yeah, I don't want to waste the Rage. I could have like hit the Keepsake Gorgon and then attack, and then there would be no block. But we'll just go ahead and trade our own Temple Cyclops for the Keepsake Gorgon. We have some good follow-ups after that as well. So I want to play the Crow and Hoplite so I can pump it twice and still get a point of damage through. Staunch-Hearted Warrior. Now that's fascinating. There's one green that makes it a 4/4. So it dies anyway, so that's fine. Not Monstrosity, because I'd rather be able to get my Crow and Hoplite out. I'm already killing my opponent. And this allows me to diversify my threats away from a, what you may call it, Gigantor Monstrosity Keepsake Gorgon, which I assume is happening this turn. Or not. What is it? Sip Hemlock? What you got for me? Oh, another big old fatty. My opponent needs a ramp. Maybe that is the deck, like a Colt or the Voyaging Satyr, but with all the big things coming down, my opponent really needs something larger than all this. I'm a little bit flooded here. If I attack him with everything, things at 3, 4, 5. This guy is big enough to trade off, but then I have to attack in with both of these guys. And then the Rage will be able to kill one of the big dudes, which I like. Yeah, I'm going to go for it. I want to be aggressive right now. My opponent probably just blocks the 2-headed Cerberus with one of the guys. I gain 4 life. That means another one gets through, but then I'm in a really good spot. And I think I probably do just go ahead and do the Rage. Like, I would do the Keepsake on the 2-headed Cerberus. Clear blockers. Yep. Because that keeps the Keepsake Gorgon alive. My opponent takes 5 here. Yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and monstrosity this guy. Oh shoot, I could've got an extra point of damage in. Well, I'm representing Gods of Willing. Maybe my opponent will be aware of that. I don't know. We're doing 6 points of damage to my opponent this way. And clearing a dude. Again, 1 land means this guy's off, but we'll have our 2 lethal guys here to follow up, and my opponent will have to completely tap out. Gosh, if I had tapped differently, I would have won the game. God, I'm so stupid. Gotta pay attention to math sometimes, because I could have monstrosity'd and dragon mantled. So sorry guys, not trying to slow roll, just sucking at Magic the Gathering. Yeah. I think it's, no matter what, super hard. I don't think my opponent can come back from this. All mana would be used in order to monstrosity the Gorgon, and then attack with both these guys. Both are lethal. If something else comes down and is played, then the Ill-Tempered Cyclops is lethal on its own. So I don't know what's in the format that can adjust to this. I'd be curious to find out, though. And I don't think my opponent figured out either. Cool, GG's. Next match, here we come!